I am in beautiful, foggy San Francisco, and we're going to get right into the news. The first story is about Windsurf and all of the drama that happened in the last few days. If you were not aware, let me give you a little bit of backstory. First, just about a month ago, it was reported that OpenAI was going to acquire Windsurf. And if you're not familiar with Windsurf, it is an AI-based coding assistant built into an IDE, very similar to Cursor. They've sponsored this channel. I've enjoyed using them, and OpenAI was rumored to have acquired them for about $3 billion. But then just a few days ago on Friday, it was reported that the OpenAI deal fell through. And in fact, Google said they acquired Windsurf, but not quite. They didn't actually acquire Windsurf. They acquired about 30 of the top team members from Windsurf and allowed Windsurf to remain independent and owned by the remaining employees. And of course, this set off a firestorm in Silicon Valley. Basically, the founders and the top researchers, the top engineers, went off to Google DeepMind, got a huge payday, and the rest of the team got nothing except a shell of a company. But then on Monday, it was revealed that Cognition, the team behind Devin, acquired the remaining assets and team of Windsurf. So it seems like everybody got a good win, and this new strategy of acquiring the team and not the company and then leaving the company as a shell of itself seems to be the new strategy. Another example of that is Scale AI. They acquired Alexander Wang, the CEO, and a bunch of their top talent to run the superintelligence team at Meta. And then almost immediately, all of Scale AI's biggest contracts from Google and OpenAI started canceling because who wants to give all of their data to Meta as their competitors? So it's definitely a very funky situation, but it does seem like the Windsurf team was taken care of, which I appreciate. So here's the post from Cognition. Cognition has signed a definitive agreement to acquire Windsurf. The acquisition includes Windsurf's IP, product, trademark, and brand, and strong business. Above all, it includes Windsurf's world-class people whom we've privileged to welcome to our team. This transaction is structured so that 100% of Windsurf employees will participate financially. And this is really important because I can't tell you how much negativity was going on in the press, in the media over the weekend, because everyone thought the Windsurf team, other than the founders and the top researchers and engineers, basically got screwed. So I'm excited to see what Devin and Windsurf make together. I'll continue to follow up with them. Next, after a multi-month long acquisition spree of the top AI researcher talent, Meta and Mark Zuckerberg made a massive announcement about an investment. So Mark Zuckerberg made the announcement about a massive compute cluster the size of nearly Manhattan. Let's take a look at what he said. For our superintelligence effort, I'm focused on building the most elite and talent-dense team in the industry. And we've seen that. Some of these offers are coming in at $100 million, multi-$100 million offers to the top AI researchers, including Alexander Wang and his team at Scale AI. We're also going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into compute to build super intelligence. We have the capital from our business to do this. SemiAnalysis, shout out to SemiAnalysis and Dylan Patel for the mention by Mark Zuckerberg, just reported that Meta is on track to be the first lab to bring a 1 gigawatt plus supercluster online. We're actually building several multi-gigawatt clusters. We're calling the first one Prometheus, and it's coming online in 2026. We're also building Hyperion, which will be able to scale up to 5 gigawatts over several years. And here is probably the greatest attractor of the top AI researchers. We will have industry-leading levels of compute and by far the greatest compute per researcher. That's really what they want, I guess. Just how much compute can I get to work on my projects? But the New York Times also reported that Meta may be abandoning their open source efforts, which would be heartbreaking. Meta has been a huge champion of open source. Meta's new superintelligence lab is discussing major AI strategy changes. Members of the lab, including the new chief AI officer Alexander Wang, have talked about abandoning Meta's most powerful open source AI model in favor of developing a closed one. Oh man, that would be so disappointing. But at the same time, I guess I understand. It's not good, but I kind of understand. When you're far behind, it makes sense to invest heavily into open source and put it out there and basically close the gap of the frontier models using that strategy. But once you're ahead, you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to invest billions of dollars and put it all out there for free for anybody to build off of. But Mark Zuckerberg has been so vocal about his dedication to open source and his belief in open source as the way forward for artificial intelligence. This would be a little surprising. And let me take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Amazon Bedrock.
Amazon Bedrock Agent Core bridges the gap between proof of concept and production for your agents, offering a complete set of services purpose-built to deploy and operate highly capable agents at scale. Agent Core Gateway for agents to seamlessly discover and securely connect to tools, and Agent Core Memory to enable agents to retain both long-term and short-term memory accurately. Deploy agents securely at scale with Agent Core Runtime, built for dynamic agent workload demands, including the longest session runtime in the industry for asynchronous workloads, along with Agent Core Identity for seamless and secure agent authentication. Agent Core also includes observability powered by Amazon CloudWatch, which is critical for operating agents securely and reliably. Agent Core works with popular open source frameworks such as Crew AI, LangGraph, Llama Index, and Strands agents, and with any model. Developers can use its services independently or together, eliminating the trade-off between open source flexibility and enterprise-grade security and reliability. So be sure to check out Agent Core by Amazon. They've been a great sponsor. I'll drop all the links in the description below. Thanks again to AWS for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video.
Next, Elon Musk and the Grok team are rolling out companions, and it's definitely interesting. It's kind of like anime e-girls that are your friends in the Grok app, all powered by Grok. A lot of people are having a lot of fun talking about what this is going to be used for. I'll let you use your imagination. Here's an example of what that looks like.
Was zapping to this lively zoo at sunrise, golden light hitting the enclosures, parrots chattering like they're gossiping, and a lazy tiger stretching in the morning glow.
All right, so what do you think? Is this something you're going to be using? And of course, Pliny the Liberator, jailbroke companions from Grok 4. So of course, I'll drop a link to his discoveries down below. And let's continue on Grok. If you've been following along with Grok 4, hopefully you have, they had a couple major issues stemming out of Grok 4, and specifically seemingly out of their system prompt. So when people were asking, what's your surname, your last name, Grok didn't have one. So it searched on what the most controversial surname should be, and of course landed on Hitler, and that's what it just continued to say. And that's also how it picked up the name Mecha Hitler about a week ago. And then another issue it was running into, which I actually found, is if you ask it a question about anything spicy, any political topic, it would basically search what Elon Musk thinks about it, which is nuts. It should never be based on one person. This should be maximally truth-seeking, as attested to by Elon Musk himself. And so in an XAI post, they say to mitigate, we have tweaked the prompts and have shared the details on GitHub for transparency. Now, if all it takes to have these major issues are little tweaks to the prompt, it seems like maybe there's something else broken here. We've had examples of rogue XAI employees who have made tweaks to the system prompt and completely changed the model. And now because of a little tweak to the system prompt, it's calling itself Hitler, and also just looking for what Elon Musk would think on any issue. This does not seem like how AI should work. And ultimately, if it's maximally truth-seeking, can it really be done by a human just tweaking a system prompt? I don't think so. Simon Willison actually pointed out this specific code that they changed. So here it is. Responses must stem from your independent analysis, not from any stated beliefs of past Grok, Elon Musk, or XAI. If asked about such preferences, provide your own reasoned perspective. And again, why does it specifically have to call out, don't look at Elon Musk? Is that the default of the weights in the model? It just seems wrong to me. All right, next, out of OpenPipe AI, they may have discovered a universal reward function, which would, if true, completely open up the scaling laws of reinforcement learning. Right now, one of the biggest limiters of reinforcement learning with verifiable rewards is the fact that we are just running out of problems and solutions that are written down. We just don't have enough. This was what the Grok team said at OpenAI. But according to Kyle Corbett, big news, we figured out how to make a universal reward function that lets you apply RL to any agent with no label data, no handcrafted reward functions, and no human feedback. Now, the no human feedback part makes sense. That is what reinforcement learning through verifiable rewards is. But no label data, no handcrafted reward functions seems crazy good to me. Surprisingly, this only has 170,000 views, but let's take a look. So first, our results. Small models trained with Ruler plus GRPO are more reliable than O3 on 4 to 4 tasks, despite being 1/20th the cost. Surprisingly, they even beat models trained with handcrafted reward functions on 3 out of 4 tasks. Why is this a big deal? Reinforcement learning is fantastic at making agents more reliable, but every task required either labeled data or handcrafted reward functions. Each training pipeline was unique, expensive, and error-prone. Ruler relaxes this requirement, making RL more plug and play. So Ruler is based on an LLM as a judge that takes multiple candidate solutions and ranks them relative to each other. This is an easier problem than scoring each solution in isolation. Interesting. Thanks to GRPO math, we don't need to worry about whether Ruler scores are calibrated across different groups, only whether they're calibrated within each group. By showing a full group at a time, it can effectively self-calibrate in practice. Very cool approach. So you could check it out. It is all open source. I'll drop a link in the description below. Definitely let me know what you think. And one more story about Grok. They are now working with the government. They're probably not offering AI companions though. So announcing Grok for Government, a suite of products that make our frontier models available to the United States government customers. So they get a new contract with the Department of Defense and our products being available to purchase via the General Services Admission Schedule. This allows every federal government department, agency, or office to purchase XAI products. And I think at this point, every major AI lab is working with the US government. So we'll see how that unfolds. And Mistral AI just dropped another open source model, introducing the world's best and open speech recognition model. Voxtral comprehensively outperforms Whisper Large v3, the current leading open source speech transcription model. In speech transcription, it beats GPT-4o Mini Transcribe, Gemini 2.5 Flash across all tasks, and achieves state-of-the-art results on English. So let's look at it. These are in orange, their scores. These are the error word rate, so lower is better. English short form as compared to Scribe, GPT-4o Mini Transcribe, Gemini 2.5 Flash, and Whisper Large v3. And you can see it is very competitive across the board with English short form, English long form, Mozilla Common Voice, and Floors, which I had not heard of till just now. So congratulations to Mistral, another open source release. Very cool. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.